Well, I know for Charlie and myself, we both have a love of reading. And Charlie, did that love of reading start young for you?
Oh, very young. My parents were always reading to me when I was young. We had story time at nights,
Yes.
all that stuff. It was a very education-focused house.
Yeah,
So.
it was pretty similar in my family. I loved getting read to as a kid, and I still love a good read aloud. Joining us on the CoastLife couch is a local author. We have Angelo Menefee, and Angelo, you've written a series of children's books that I think are really, really great for families to take on together. Tell us about your series and sort of how they fit together both in families and in schools.
Okay. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, we're
Thank
glad
you
to
for
have
inviting
you.
me. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I'm going to act like what's the movie stars jump on the couch.
Oh yeah,
But
Tom Cruise getting all wild.
I'm not going to get book wild on you. But I changed my book from a hard copy to a coloring books, where it's more affordable for grandparents and guardians to get the book. And my first book, with the help of love, I Can Do Anything, came at a time where at that time was needed so, because working in a hospital, I see a lot of kids coming in with multiple gunshot wounds, and I said to myself, something got to be done. Is it the parents? Is the streets where they live at? Is the choices that these parents make? I don't know. I'm only an engineer. And what made me write that first book was when I seen this, doctor, break open the rib cage, massage the heart, and all I seen was glass marbles in the kid's eyes at 9.
It's too young.
It's too young.
It was too much for me, and that's what made me write my first book. And then as time went on, I wrote another book, hard copy, about Billy, and all my books is multicultural by design.
I love that.
And it's not about the color of the child or religion or race. It's about, can you do the steps? Can you teach your kids how to put their shoes on the right way? Can you teach them how to look for the tag in the back and see if I have my shirt on the right way? Raise your hand in school when you have something to say. Excuse me, thank you, good morning. How to set a table. I learned that when I was 6 years old, because my mother and father had rules where you learn young how to wash dishes. If you was my little sister, I say, well, my older sister, I said, you dry, I'll dry, you wash.
Yep.
So everybody had the particulars. So I kept it in a series of how to do chores, because summer's here doesn't mean that you stop your chores.
Not if you don't want to get in trouble. Not if you don't want to
Still on that allowance.
That's right. Whether you do your chores or ask your neighbors, can I cut your grass? When you get about 12, 13 years old, there's other things that you can do besides stand on corners, hang with your boys. But when parents have a borderline, they say, you're going to learn to do this. And that's what made me keep it in a series of responsibilities. That's why I have Billy's First Summer Vacation and Billy's First Summer's Job. And now my fourth book came out. I'll let you say it. I'll let you say it.
We got, let's meet Billy's Special Olympian friends.
There you go.
I love this.
Did you
By the
see
way,
that?
the drawings look amazing. It looks
they
like
do.
a lot of fun here.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And when you meet these children, which I have, it's amazing the art that they have within themselves. They don't worry about what their hair look like we do.
Right.
What clothes they got on. They hope to be loved and liked and appreciated, and that's why I wrote this one, that give parents opportunity. It's not so much the coloring book, it's so much the participation of parents to get involved with their kids and stop letting other people or facilities do it for them, because they can do things themselves. And you got some that's 40 and 50 years old, very special. I think they're the special one. I think we have to catch up.
Well, and it seems like these books leave sort of a scaffolding to learn about the steps of life.
That's a hallelujah moment.
So let me ask you,
Yes, sir.
where can somebody get a hold of some of these? If somebody wants to try to, they like what we're saying here, they like what they're hearing from you, they want to take part.
They can get in touch with me at www.angelo Menefee.com.
We have more that we got to talk about because I
Yes.
want to ask you some
Yes.
questions about
Yes.
how you got into the process of writing. So we're going
Yes.
to take a quick break,
Yes.
everybody. We'll have more with Angelo right after this. Stick around. Coast Life continues after this. We've been having a great conversation with Angelo Menefee here. He's an author. He writes books for kids for really to try and give them some building blocks for life. We've talked about the books some. We've talked
Yes.
a little bit about what inspires you. When did you become a writer? At what point in your life were you a writer as a young kid? Did you pick up at writing as a passion project later? How did it happen for you?
Well, it happened to me, like I said, when I was an author, when I was an engineer. And from where I came from, it was that many young kids getting shot on the street, even though they had a lot of gang war in Philadelphia, people making zip guns and trying to take somebody out of here, and they don't even own the block. Half the people was renting in some cases. But as I got mature and got older, I would say mature as far as age concerned, because I'm still growing and learning a situation, where the hospital became a revolving door, not like it used to be. You fall off a swing.
Right.
You got water in your eyes, you bump into a wall. We all did this.
Yes.
But you get to a point where I start noticing kids coming in like a revolving door. Somebody got stabbed. Somebody got beat up by somebody trying to rob in certain areas. And you got a university down the street from the hospital, And if you look at it right now today, they're getting robbed at a college. So this what made me write the book about maybe let's try with the parents. Maybe the parents got to push a little more.
Well, it seems like a lot of this stuff breaks down to being a person that is a doer, somebody that is doing things.
You have to
Whether
do.
it is setting an example for kids, whether it is kids learning how to do the things that are going to put them in a good position
Yes.
to be a successful adult later on.
Yes.
Or whether it's as an adult taking it, I know how to do this, I'm going to step in.
Breaking these down for your kids?
And I'm going to be a part of
Because
something.
you can't, that's not a land of sheep. You can't, you're either going to be a follower or a leader. And at the end of the day, you're going to have to learn to think and do for yourself, no matter who you're around, no matter how much impressiveness that somebody give you. You have to say one of these days, wow, I got to make decisions. I always tell young kids, if you expect to be respected for your mom or your father, your guardian, not to jump in your case, do things before they get you. If you know your clothes is laying on that floor in your bedroom, get it before mom got to wind you down as a 6-year-old and say, "What? Did you clean your room?"
Get ahead of the curve.
Again, what's going on? I'm throwing sevens over here. I'm not a gambler, but you throwing them. You just.
Well, Angelo,
you throwing them.
thank you so much for coming in today and sharing your series with us.
Yes.
And like you said, Angelo K. Menefee, for
Yes,
folks that
ma'am.
want to get a hold
Yes.
of your
Yes.
series.
Go ahead and pick these books up, especially if you've got kids. You can have conversations about them, and it seems like a great device to really put in some of those important lessons to learn at a young age.
That's right. So we'll give you some time to check that out, and maybe you've got your stories to read with your kids tonight. Well, Angelo, thank you again for coming in today.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. You batting 100. I'm telling you.
Just a good day.
Yeah,
Just a
man.
good day.
Because this is our buddy bench.
We're staying put on the buddy bench, but we do have to take a quick break, but Coast Life will be right back.